Your own understanding, truth under Babylon's empiricism. What up? On here real quick, just to talk about, I have two subjects. I'm gonna split it into two videos. This video I'm going to save for Kanye West. I spoke about him before in a video called Kanye West and the War with the East. And I explained what the War with the East was in another video and how that, actually I have a few other videos. Um, One is Tupac wasn't fronting, and a couple other ones. But yeah, I did reference the war with the East. Anyway, and this time in relation to Kanye West, we're going to speak about what exactly he is, what does he represent, and what is at stake. What is Kanye West? Kanye West is an indigenous fellow out here, like all the other indigenous fellows, trying to make his way. He had an outlet through his talent where he was able to build a brand and take on certain responsibilities within that structure of economics that he was in. So Kanye West is, obviously just like, everyone else, but with a brand and, with a certain status. Indigenous, number one. You can't forget indigenous. That's what you got to understand. He's indigenous. So within this system, there's a game being played. Uh, you call it racism. I call it business. So when you have at stake an entire system, an entire ideology that depends upon you holding your position through any means necessary, you have to, on the outside looking in, you have to think about that entire scenario, the scenario that we are all participating in, what we all don't understand, unfortunately. So this scenario, this game, this idealism that we participate in, there is always sides, meaning there's always a yin and a yang, alpha and omega. There's always one side to another. So if we're on one side, if we're on this side of it, of the game, what's on the other side? What's on the other side of the game? What's on the other side of the wall? You and I don't know. But the idealism understands what it is and where it's going. I don't want to get too far off the subject of Kanye West, but this all pertains to the man himself. So, understanding that there are two sides to everything, you got to understand that the side that we don't know, we don't understand, is the side that has the understanding of the indigenous being the enemy. So you have to understand this. If you are labeled the enemy and you have common recognition that you can understand just by paying attention, then you'll see that if the indigenous is the enemy, then everything that is taking place is about the exploitation of the indigenous. So you have this man, Kanye West, who is indigenous at heart, spirit, and in genetics, which they are trying to change, which they have broken that cycle. A man so powerful in the mind, an indigenous man so powerful in the mind, has to be controlled. He showed you what he could do with a resource within a system that, I call it resource because it touches and people appreciate the art form, the resource. He understood how to maneuver and he made his move. Now, the moves had been made by him through his own accord. All the decisions he made. So he's at this point lost, like I said before. Lost meaning he's lost in his own talent, his own ambition, his own sense of nature, his own sense of being indigenous, his rights as a human. All that is just bubbling within him. So all of that had to be tamed. His peers, people around him, don't have the same mindset as him, along with the same talent. So no matter how much he wants to wiggle around and try not to lose himself, it doesn't matter, because when the agenda is for you to be lost, you will remain lost. So all the decisions that he makes right now are basically through his handlers or his handlings. And unfortunately, although the wealth, quote unquote wealth, that he has built has been tracked, has been led and traced and monitored to the point where they know at any given moment all that is going right back where it came from. And to secure that fact, you have the tax representative right next to him, married to him. So whenever it's time for his plug to get pulled, all that money goes right back into literally the place where it came from. And that's just the plan. That's just the plot. That's just the maneuvering of the money. Money has no feelings. The money even has no tangible substance. It's status. It's what they say it is. So when they finish with Kanye West, most likely he is going to go away, either in a psychiatric institution or something similar. His money, the rights to his money, I'm not sure about the paperwork he has in regard to his life, but if he doesn't have really good lawyers and a paper trail when it comes to his wishes, that man could end up, he can end up in a bad situation. In a very bad situation, because now you're into politics, you're into capitalism, and you're into the public eye. And you have a responsibility to your people. He has a responsibility to his people, so they all know this. He might not know as much as they know when it comes to his responsibility and where he would be left to his own devices. So they can't have that. So unfortunately, I do see Mr. West coming up on some unfortunate circumstances, because this is a fire sale right now. The indigenous community is under attack from all sides, and you can see the cancel culture, the ghost culture, people just ghosting people for no real reason, just because they think it might be cool or something. Relationships, high-profile relationships being tested, and talking about a lot of money involved with all these things, man. And it seems to have an indigenous overtone to it when it comes to the adversities of these financial situations, of these, people being affected. There's a lot going on, and I just think that people really should look at their surroundings and capture that human adult within you and try to have a collective understanding or come to one, because they know where they're going. Do you?